Good morning, students. This is chapter number 19, Organs of the United Nations. In the previous chapter, we have discussed about why this United Nation is made. This is made to create peace in the world. And now in this chapter, we will discuss about the functions of the United Nation, how it works, and which organs are there in the United Nations. There are five principal organs, the main organs. That is, first is General Assembly, second is Security Council, third is Economic and Social Council, and fourth is Secretariat, and fifth is International Court of Justice. This is shown in this picture. The General Assembly is the main organ. Then there are four organs are related, that is Security Council, Secretariat, International Court of Justice, and Economic and Social Council. And these are the agencies that are helping in the functioning of this organization. There are 6 official languages that are used by United Nations: Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. But the main 2 languages that are used by the Secretariat, that are English and French. The organs of the United Nations, there are the different works are done by the different organs. Firstly, we will discuss about the General Assembly. The General Assembly is the largest body of the UN. All the member countries meets once in a year and discuss the various problems of the world, international problems. As we are having parliament in our country, that is like an international parliament in which all the countries discuss the problems of related to the world, and then the decisions are taken with the majority of 2/3 members. And the General Assembly meets once in a year and third week of the September and discuss the different issues, and assembly seeks to resolve the mutual conflicts also between the two countries or among the more than two countries. It deals with the problems of the poverty. Poverty means the people, those who are not having proper money to spend, they are not having the proper lifestyle, they are not having to eat something. Poverty means garibi. And increasing population means the population is increasing in the world, so how to control that increasing population. Social inequality means rich and poor, etc. And illiteracy related to education, to educate the people. These problems are solved, are discussed in the General Assembly. Then comes the Security Council. Security Council is the most important organ. It is related to create peace and security in the world, and it also uh, discuss about the disputes between the two countries or among the countries to settle down that disputes. And it has only 15 members, and 5 of them are the permanent members, and the other 10 members are elected by the General Assembly after 2 years. Then the permanent members are USA, Russia, United Kingdom, France, and China. These are the permanent members. And Economic and Social Council. The Economic and Social Council works for the welfare of the children and the women. And it has 54 members elected by the General Assembly, and it tries to solve the economic and social and health problems. And it works through commissions and committees. And it helps those people and groups of the society which are facing problems. ECOSCO coordinates with the specific agencies like that social and economic and related to services. Social problems are like that if any social evil is there, like in our country there is and racism, that I belong to that Sikhism and I am Hindu, I am Muslim. These types of the problems are solved. So these are social problems, and economic problem is related to money, like rich and poor. These problems are solved by this Economic and Social Council. Then comes the Trusteeship Council. Trusteeship Council is that council in which that is made after the Second World War, which were under the foreign rule, which is made for the countries those who are under the foreign rule. but most of the countries of this territory has independent countries now, so it is not functioning. It is suspended in 1992, means this organ is not there in now working in that United Nations, because those countries are the members of this Trusteeship Council. Those who are not independent, some other countries are ruling over it. But now that countries, those who are in the members of this Trusteeship Council have got the independence. Now come to the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is like the court of the world. Uh, the International Court Justice meets in Hague in the Netherlands, and it has 15 judges elected by the Security Council and the General Assembly for the period of 9 years. And the court gives its advice to the General Assembly and other bodies of the UN also on the legal matters. It also called the World Court. As we are having our high courts and supreme courts in our country, this International Court of Justice is the world court, and it deals in the disputes between two countries or more than two countries. Then comes the Secretariat. Secretariat is the executive branch of the UN, and its head is known as the Secretary General. The Secretary General is appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendations of the Security Council, and the Secretary General is the head of the Secretariat and acts as the United Nations spokesman. Means it is the lead spokesman, means the leader that is standing over there and gives the speaks that what is the problem and what is the solution of the at last what is the solution of that problem. That is called the spokesperson, and it is appointed for the term of 5 years. And the Secretary General is the most powerful official who take care of the daily operations of the UN and has a major role to play in the setting organization agenda. Agenda means which problems will be solved and what will be the solutions that are discussed there. At present, Antonio Guterres is the Security Council Secretary General of the UN till 31/12/22. Means up to December 31st, 22. This will be the Secretary General of the UN. Now the specialized agencies. First agency is that UNICEF, that works for the development and betterment of the children of the world, and it was set in 1946, and it provides funds to help the children. And in our country, you have listened about Anganwadi schools. These are set up by that United Nations, UNICEF, and it helps the mother and the child in the field of health, food, and education. And you have seen the greeting cards of the UNICEF also. That is to collect the money donation for the UNICEF, and it also trains the teachers for the programs for physically and mentally challenged children, means those who can't speak or those who can't walk properly, or those children those who can't listen. For that children it is also working. Now the World Health Organization, it was set up in 1948 and its headquarters is in Geneva, and it helps in the improvement of health services, and it controls the spread of various diseases like smallpox, malaria, and tuberculosis, etc. And many of Indian doctors are also working for the WHO, World Health Organization. Now United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, means UNESCO. UNESCO is having its headquarters at Paris, and it was set up in 1946. And its purpose is to promote education, science, and culture all over the world, and it gives the help to expand the improvement adult and women education programs. It also gives the fund to maintain the old monuments. And there are many other agencies like Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, and International Labour Organization, ILO, and International Monetary Fund, IMF, etc. This food and agriculture organization is doing in the field of where agricultural problems are there. Any country who needs the seeds or any equipment, agricultural equipments, this organization help that country. And ILO is making the rules for the people, those who are working in the organization, that the minimum wage rule, etc. And monetary fund is the International Monetary Fund is giving the fund to the poor countries. All these agencies are making effort in their fields to make the world uh, a better place to live. Now, achievements and the work of the UN. UN and its agencies are doing work for every country in the world and paying attention to the poor and less developed nations. And it also work in the areas of the world affected by war or civil tariff. Civil tariff means the internal wars, internal problems of the country, droughts or famines, etc. The natural calamities like floods, famines, etc. It's also helping the countries, those who are having some need some technical advice, means those who needs technical advice in the field of agriculture, etc. And it supports the members of the nations also, that the members, those who are the member of United Nations, this UN helps that countries also in the time of war or any army troops, need any army troops. And this UN tries to keep the peace between the warring nation, those who are going with the war. He trying to keep the peace between, to settle down their dispute between the countries. And it's the famous blue barracks of the UN troop has been in the operation in most of the world's trouble spots. Whenever there is any problem, any natural calamity is there, like floods or tsunamis are there, then this UN is helping that country. And in the beginning of 2002, UN peacekeeping missions operated in 15 nations, deploying 47,000 troops. There are 47,000 troops of the UN that are helping the people. Humanitarian aids means where the UN is working. The UN High Commissioners for Refugee based in Geneva, Switzerland, provides food and shelter for the refugees. Refugees means the people, those who are coming from the other country, and those who are affected by the famine, droughts, or floods, etc. This UN helps that people to settle down in a proper place. Then environmental role. To it's also take place in the major role in the environmental issues like pollution, etc. And in 1992, it convened a major conference in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil on the environment and development. The conference, known as the Earth Summit, and committed to world nations to reduce pollution in order to prevent global warming. This is all about the chapter. Thank you and have a nice day.